Welcome back to Chuck Testa. So over the summer, you may have heard news about how the United States Postal Service is going through a financial rough patch. One might say they're on the verge of bankruptcy. In fact, they probably are. To save money, they might stop Saturday mail deliveries, but some people are worried the post office could stop delivering the mail altogether by next year, August. Plans to fix the post office range from letting them default and then restructure the whole damn system to reducing the funds in the union's retirement health care plans. See, in 2006, Congress passed a law to sap $5.5 billion from the agency each year to pay for employee retirement funds for the next 75 years. In 2009, the United States Postal Service posted a net loss of $3.8 billion. Last year, it was $8.5 billion. Already in just the third quarter of 2011, the USPS had a net loss of $3.1 billion. Let me put that into perspective for you. In 3 months, the Postal Service lost 81.5% of what it did in the entire fiscal year 2009. I'm actually not surprised that the post office is in the state it is. We can argue about pensions and benefits until the cliches come home, but this is about older forms of communication surviving in the 21st century. It's as simple as that. What service today does the post office provide that is not in some way at least a little bit redundant? People can send emails instead of letters, and FedEx and UPS can easily handle shipping packages. Unless there's some sort of constitutional requirement to have the post office? What does the random glasses guy think?
This idea of regulating the post office to 3 days a week is an absurd notion. The creation of the post office is rooted in Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution, which has been interpreted to mean there shall be only one post office, which means no one else can deliver mail.
Wait, no one else can deliver mail? Thanks, Doug! Your whole segment's gonna get us in jail now. Great. Let me just consult my pocket constitution. And let me see, I keep my pocket constitution on my phone. Let me see here. And we have, the Congress shall have the power to establish post offices and post roads to promote the progress of science. Wait, that's it? That's it? Congress has the power to establish post offices? That's not the same thing as it's illegal to have someone else deliver the mail. That glasses guy lied to me. Yeah. But recently, postal workers have been protesting all across the country, demanding Congress pass a bill to fix the industry. Some claim the post office would have made a profit of $611 million had it not been for the mandated health insurance funding, but we're kidding ourselves if we think emails haven't had something to do with it. In fact, only last week, yesterday, this time when we're filming, the Postal Service released a new ad called Hacked, where the voiceover states, quote, "A refrigerator has never been hacked. An online virus has never attacked a corkboard. Give your customers the added feeling of security that a printed statement or receipt provides." Yes, the Postal Service is much more safe and secure than emails, and I can see no reason why that might be a faulty premise. Goody. In fact, someone actually predicted this whole postal collapse over 10 years ago. What sage saw the post office's redundancy for what it really was? A courageous economist? A former postmaster general?
No one's canceling any mail.
Oh, yes, I am.
Well, what about your bills?
The bank can pay them.
The bank? And well, what about your cards and letters?
Email, telephones, fax machines, FedEx, telex, telegrams, holograms.
All right, it's true. Of course nobody needs mail. What do you think you're so clever figuring that one out?
Nope, that's right, it was Kramer. Quick fun fact. According to a 2010 iPresort article, the year Seinfeld went off the air, 1998, roughly 65 million people were regular internet users. That number hit 240 million last year. What's the deal with that? And let's face it, many of our more old-fashioned industries are simply just dying out because of the tech boom. In 2008, 1 out of every 6 American homes relied completely on cell phones, abandoning a landline altogether. And think about it, how often do you bother with a landline anyway? Borders Books filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Why is Barnes & Noble still going strong? Well, 1, they really pushed their web presence, BNN.com, and 2, the Nook, e-readers. In 2010, 114 million e-books were sold, representing an increase of over 1,000% since 2008. What about traditional books? 603 million of those were sold in 2010, so they've still got the edge in numbers. What percent increase was that from 2008? Only 5.8. 5.8%? Over 1,000%. Oh, and Netflix pretty much guaranteed the death of Blockbuster and local mom-and-pop video stores. And online shopping has certainly skyrocketed over the past 10 years. In December 2001, the e-commerce Times reported that the total number of Americans shopping online hit a record of 52.4 million during the second week of the month. 3 years later, the New York Daily News reported that roughly 40% of Americans were expected to buy holiday gifts online. That year, a total of $144 billion was spent online shopping. And this past June, the Wall Street cheat sheet predicted online shopping will hit levels of $25 billion by 2014. Even news is being streamlined for the internet audience. Last year, the Audit Bureau of Circulations found that average circulation of all newspapers had dropped 8.7%. The Washington Post circulation dropped 13% in the course of a week, while USA Today's dropped 13.6%. Contrast that with the surge in online traffic many news sites are facing. The New York Times web traffic was at a low of 10 million unique viewers in July 2009. Most recent figures show their traffic stands at 17.2 million. The Huffington Post, one of the world's most popular news sites, saw their traffic increase by 300% in the last 3 years. Now, while the Luddites among us might see all these developments as a bad sign, I see them as progress. Technology is ever advancing, and whether we like it or not, new industry breakthroughs will make our lives more efficient and the world more accessible. Obviously, new technologies mean old jobs like bookseller and video rental guy will become obsolete at some point. It's not fair, but it's reality. Social technology puts industry literally in the palm of your hand. You can use websites to locate the best reviewed restaurants, get driving directions, even if they take you on a wrong frickin' route, damn you Google Maps, and even make a lot of your major purchases. Have you been to an Apple store recently? We have the technology to scan credit cards on iPads. And yet, despite all these awesome new advances in modern technology, there are still people who can never be satisfied. You've seen these people, I'm sure. The ones who incessantly complain about every little thing going wrong in their lives. And nowhere is this more evident than on Facebook. As you may have noticed recently, the social networking site has made some changes to its layout. Some people have warmly embraced it, others have expressed a different view. A USA Today poll asked people if they liked the latest Facebook updates. Over 10,000 people answered, 81% said no. 81%. So let me get this straight. You're on a web service that allows you to connect with people on the other side of the fucking world. The technology for this didn't even exist 10 years ago. We're the first generation that really gets to take advantage of it, and you're bitching about some sort of freaking timeline thing? Perspective, people. Remember how when we were kids, we used to think Windows 98 and Mac OS 9 were cool, and when we grew up, we realized how stupid that was? When the new Facebook features came out, I initially thought they kind of sucked, and to be fair, I still do, just a little. But then I remembered this video of comedian Louis C.K. explaining how everything is amazing and nobody's happy. Take a look.
Everything is amazing right now, and nobody's happy. Like, in my lifetime, the changes in the world have been incredible. When I was a kid, we had a rotary phone. We had a phone that you had to stand next to, and you had to dial it.
Yes.
You realize how primitive? You're making sparks in a phone, and you actually would hate people with zeros in their numbers because it was more like, oh, this guy's got 2 zeros. Screw that guy. Why do I want to? And then if they called and you weren't home, the phone would just ring lonely by itself. We live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots that don't care, because this is what people are like now. They got their phone and they're like, it won't. Give it a second. It's going to space. Can you give it a second to get back from space? Is the speed of light too slow for you? Yeah. I was on an airplane, and there was internet, high-speed internet on the airplane. That's the newest thing that I know exists. And I'm sitting on the plane, and they go, open up your laptop. You can go on the internet. And it's fast, and I'm watching YouTube clips. I'm in an airplane. And then it breaks down. And they apologize. The internet's not working. The guy next to me goes, this is bull. Like, how quickly the world owes him something he knew existed only 10 seconds ago.
Right.
And it's true. Technology has made our generation think we're more entitled. Do you know how many people freak out whenever Twitter's down? Oh my God, I can't access my Twitter account. What do I do? Wait! Wait until people who are paid to work on this shit are able to fix it. And in the meantime, do something else. Now, obviously, I would be remiss if I didn't include myself in this general criticism of humanity. It's in our nature to complain when things don't go our way. But our generation is unique because we like complaining about the most ridiculous things. YouTube is being slow. I've used that complaint a few times myself. Yes, YouTube is being slow, but just be glad you live in a country where you get to use it and you aren't oppressed and or poor. There's a term used often ironically to describe the plights of those who have this kind of access to technology. 21st century problems. It's a popular Twitter hashtag, and it's used to highlight just how silly and pathetic our little gripes with reality really are. Because there are real 21st century problems out there, industry is at a crossroads, Silicon Valley is ready to jump in, and we have to trust that our leaders know what's needed at this point in time.
We have 21st century problems and challenges, and we're looking for 21st century solutions.
This means we're using 19th and 20th century technologies to battle 21st century problems.
We talk a lot about the need to use 21st century diplomacy to solve 21st century problems.
Such a limited approach will not always solve our 21st century problems.
Indeed. We need 21st century solutions, which is why it's so curious that many of the prevailing ideas about how to save the post office doesn't include bringing it into the 21st century. That's the other generational problem we have. Our generation is too fixated on the present moment, while our parents' generation is nostalgic for a time before all these newfangled gadgets were complicating our lives. But here's the thing, we can't go back. Technology is progressive. We can't just ask it to stop so we can continue enjoying simpler times. Humanity needs an upgrade. Unfortunately, the software won't be ready for another generation or two. We'll be right back.